important because he's not somebody who is great just because of his skill. He's somebody that's great because of what's in here. He wants it. He's not scared. He wants the smoke. He wants the moment. He knows that he is the face of the franchise. He knows that the expectations for the San Antonio Spurs rest on his shoulders. And what do? They already got 52, 53 wins on the season. They're top 2 seed in the Western Conference. And you see the way these guys rally around him. Castle, Vassell, De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes and these brothers. You see the way they rally around him. They know who he is. They know what they have. They know how special he is. And then he goes out there on a night in, night out basis, and he shows it to you. 24.3 points, 51% shooting from the field, 36% shooting from three-point range, okay? 11.1 rebounds per game, and leads the league in blocks by a full block for obvious reasons. The brother is special, and they've translated it into winning. And even then, with all of this going on, he's telling us, Shay, he's telling us, Wendy, it ain't enough. They chant MVP. It ain't enough. He want the MVP. He want the Defensive Player of the Year. And he won a championship. And we are sitting here in his 3rd year in the league, and we can legitimately say we can't rule out any of the 3. Think about that. We can't rule out, we know he's going to get Defensive Player of the Year. We can't rule out that he could win MVP because they're winning, and he's a top candidate for MVP honors because he deserves it because of what he does on both ends of the floor. And you can't rule out the possibility that the San Antonio Spurs may win the chip. All 3 things he's in line for. And he's literally telling you, not only does he want all 3, he's coming for all 3. And then to go out and do that last night, he's just letting you know there's levels to this. And he's on a level very few have ever seen.
You anticipate this becoming the best rivalry in the league?
Yeah, there's a good chance.
He's not coming anymore. He is here.
That's ridiculous!
The time is now.
It's a thunder avalanche!
They're not just first in the league. They're way ahead of everybody.
San Antonio, Oklahoma City is not going to be good. It's going to be great.
The time is now.
Game 1 Monday night, but these two teams have tangoed in the regular season. In San Antonio, 4-0 against the defending champs in the regular season. They outscored the Thunder 114-109 per game. Now the Thunder get their shot at revenge, trying to flip the script in the series that matters most if they want to defend their NBA title. NBA analyst Quentin Richardson and senior NBA writer Vince Goodwill join the program. Men, good morning to you. Q, let's start here. Those were the numbers for the regular season, but the playoffs, like you mentioned in the commercial break, an entirely different animal. What intrigues you most about this series?
Man, fellas, I'm excited to see Wemby versus Chet.
Mm-hmm.
This has been brewing since they played internationally with the USA versus France and the under, I want to say 16s or 17s, and Chet got the best of them. But after seeing the videos and the compilation of them playing against each other, this is probably the first time I could say that Wemby doesn't really like Chet. And I can't say that about Wemby I don't think anybody else. So from that standpoint alone, and the back and forth from them since high school coming up playing against each other, I want to see them in a series. I want to see the two tall guys go at it and get it on. I want to see this matchup.
I love how there's underlying beef that goes from the U17 ranks to now the biggest stage in basketball.
Yes.
Vince, what is the biggest question you have heading into this series?
Yeah, I'm drawn in by Skinny Bowl too, but you also have to remember Oklahoma City being without Jalen Williams since early in the Phoenix series. We don't know what his health looks like with that hamstring. Has been bothering him all season, all playoffs. They can't win if he's not all the way right. But for San Antonio, Steph Castle has turned into their second best player. He actually led them in scoring and assists in the series against the Minnesota Timberwolves, a highly efficient player. He's going to be one of the main defenders on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. During the season, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did not shoot as efficiently as he does during the regular season, and you got to attribute a lot of that to Steph Castle and, of course, to Victor Wembanyama. Their 1-2 game, I think it's going to be something that Oklahoma City is going to have a lot of trouble with.
Steph Castle hit 5 threes, 32
Area
points, a
51.
game high. Come on now. Hey, I appreciate those answers, fella. That's going to do it for me. Good segment.
We still have, like,
I'm done.
We still have like half
my
of the
segment. It's a wrap. I'm not going back in.
You're not.
I'm
okay.
not going back in.
Okay, so that actually dovetails pretty nicely into what we saw from Ant Edwards. And Q, I want to start with you. This man left the floor. We're going to remind the people he left the floor. What do you make of this show of sportsmanship when there's that much time left in the game?
Man, I think it was a situation where he was probably on the bench and he was frustrated. Like, can't believe that, this much time left. The game is over, is decided. And it's one of them things that I think he just had a just spur of the moment reaction and just was just like probably a frustration type thing. And let me just show love so I could just bounce right out of here after the game. I don't want to do this after the game.
Vince, what was your perspective on what we saw from Edwards there in that moment?
Hey, we're not gonna get over you taking a shot at Isaiah Thomas. Like we gonna come back to you on that one. We're not having that here. But let's also be honest. The Olympics are next year. We don't want anybody to say Anthony Edwards is a bad sport. We can't send him to LA because we know that has cost people spots on the Olympic team because all of a sudden shaking hands is important. But I think I agree with Q though, y'all. Like it's really important, I think, for Anthony Edwards to know that, let me shake these guys' hands before the frustration really sets in. When you got 8 minutes left, that's a lot of time to sit on the bench and stew and be frustrated, and you're down 30. So you know what? Let me go over here while some of the game is still fresh on me and everything else, and let me dap these guys up so I can sit on the bench, and at the end of it, when the buzzer goes off, I can take my behind straight to the locker room.
Mm-hmm. I might be a little slow, but was that a 92 Dream Team reference there? Is Gary's back?
Yeah.
Gary's back.
I don't want the tabloids to be writing it.
Listen, he came back.
We don't need the outlets to be writing anything up about Gary and Randy beefing, So
Vince Goodwill, Q Rich, we appreciate it.
Over Detroit, putting the top-seeded Pistons on the brink, and the Cavs entered Friday's Game 6 undefeated at home in these playoffs. Pistons just trying to force a Game 7. Late first half, Detroit's up 9. Cade Cunningham had 6 threes in a Game 5 win. Packed a 3-ball in his carry on to Cleveland. Less than 2 minutes later, step back over Donovan Mitchell. The issue for Detroit, who else can score beyond Cunningham? I don't know. How about the guy who stepped up when Cade was out with the collapsed lung late in the regular season? Jalen Duren through the paint. He went for 15 and 11. Pistons up 10. Under 2 to play in the half. Mitchell gets a steal and a high percentage bucket for him. Those eluded him Friday. He shot just 6 for 20, 18 points. Cavs down 3 at the half. First possession after recess. Cunningham, hesitation, splash. 5 for 10 from deep was Cade. 21 points, 8 dimes. Pistons up 6. And then they dialed up the defense. JB Bickerstaff said post-game, it's going to be the defense that carries us. We're going to physically be legally handsy. Asar Thompson with an insane block there. And then 5 to play in the third. Pistons doing work on the glass. Off the miss. Paul Reed, Duncan Robinson play a little hot potato. Ultimately, Thompson settles, gets the ball back to Reed, who had everything going for him Friday, wills it in, bucket and one. Reed just watches it hang on the rim for no exaggeration, 3 full seconds. That was nearly a stop. Pistons up 10 after the made free throw. Second chance points weren't lopsided statistically for Detroit. They just felt very timely. Another missed 3, another second chance bucket. This 3 the new fashioned way. For Duncan Robinson, he missed Game 5. He was everywhere Friday, including here off the miss. Going up court, ultimately, Robinson finds Reed for a wide-open layup. Reed, a DNP coach's decision, games 1 and 2. He had 17 and 6 off the bench. Pistons up 14 after 3. Early fourth, still up 14. Robinson, 3 of his 14 in 20 minutes off the bench. Hey, if you made the 2.5-hour drive from Detroit, this was worth the trip. Under 7 left. This embodies the Cavs' evening. James Harden misses. He had 23 points, and he stays on the court. At this point, you assume there's some measure of perspiration. Well, off the offensive board, Harden gets it back. He's eventually fouled. Okay, sideline out of bounds. But keep in mind where Harden was laying on the floor. Ensuing inbound, Dean Wade slits right there. Tobias Harris is dipped at an uncontested dunk. 2 of Detroit's 28 points off turnovers. They win by 21 to force a Game 7 Sunday. You might be surprised at the lopsided final score. Jalen Duren is not.
That's what we've been all season. Back against the wall, we keep swinging. Obviously, the world seen it in the last series. We just keep fighting, man. We go down. We don't lay down, but we go down, and the world probably is doubting us. Probably think that it's over, but man, this locker room, we all believe in each other. We always think we got a chance.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of energy. It's gonna be a madhouse in there. The crowd is going to play as well. You know, they want to insert themselves in the game. I know that, so it's going to be a fun environment for us. And we're excited to get back to the crib.
It'll be a fun environment, and history's on their side. For the second time in as many rounds, the Pistons force a Game 7 at home, which is important. Detroit's a perfect 5-0 in home Game 7s all time. Coincidentally, it's tied with Cleveland for the most wins without a loss in that spot in NBA history. Donovan Mitchell, that is a hard task ahead Sunday.
Everything you want is on the other side of hard. Nothing good comes easy. You know what I mean? That's kind of how you have to look at it. We could sit here and dwell on this and carry that into Sunday. What's that going to do for us, right? So understand we have an opportunity. We missed it. Now we have another opportunity on Sunday, and that's the mindset.
Monica McNutt, in one way, Mitchell's right. Game 7 is on the other side of hard. The Pistons made life hard for the Cavs in Game 6. How did Detroit take control Friday night?
Well, let's stay with that theme, shall we, Phil? It was entirely too hard for the Cavs to hold on to the basketball. Again, a night where they put up 25 points off of turnovers, or 28 points, off of turnovers, and they give up 48 points in the paint. Like, it is way too hard for them to slow this Pistons offense. And what you saw from the Pistons was a balanced attack. They used their bench. They got a monster performance from their bench with 48 points. And Jalen Duren in particular, with 15 points and 11 rebounds in this one, he came back to himself. This is just his second double-double of this series. You can even throw in some love for Paul Reed, especially when you talk about that bench point situation. But the Pistons literally got to the paint, and the Cavs, I don't know what is with them and holding on to the basketball, Phil. Like, the turnovers thing is really baffling, but you got to give this Pistons defense credit.
Yeah, Detroit.
The San Antonio Spurs are done playing the waiting game. Their franchise cornerstone is simultaneously chasing MVP honors, Defensive Player of the Year, and an NBA championship. And he's making it look like all three are well within reach. Now, the Oklahoma City Thunder may find themselves standing directly in the path of a takeover that the entire league is running out of time to prepare for.